Welcome back to And Just Like Yap, everybody. It's season 3, episode 6 of Euphoria. 2 more episodes of Euphoria. Hallelujah. We can do anything for 2 weeks. I could do anything for 2 weeks. I could go to church for 2 weeks if I had to. So I think we can get through 2 more episodes of Euphoria.
And speaking of church, Euphoria.
Speaking of church, a lot of God today. So I think we got to get into it. We get an Alamo flashback, which actually I was super intrigued by. I know, Andy, you've been wanting a Bishop flashback.
I have been, but I'll take it.
I have to say, this was the most watchable episode of this season.
100,000% agree.
So we are met in this flashback with Alamo. We find out how much he loves his mom. And it's like the 60s or 70s, I would say, sort of like what we can get from production design.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out his mom is played by the one and only Danielle Deadweiler.
Love her.
Justin Rooster, we know her from Till. She was in The Piano Lesson. But most excitingly, she's about to be in the Ryan Coogler reboot of X-Files that's coming out soon.
I think she's such a fantastic actress. I was really excited to see her.
I'm going to regret saying this, but there was part of me with this flashback that I was like, I could do a whole separate universe of this, but like I don't want to give Sam Levinson that power or any credit. So I enjoyed this short film that we got.
Yes.
We see the evolution. It's funny to like, and they talked a lot about this in the after show, the evolution of his mom throughout this and the through the hair and the wigs that we get. So we get this like Cleopatra wig here at first, and we find out that this man is coming over that may change their lives.
It starts off pretty innocently where she's basically saying, like, I want a better life for the two of us, so we're going to do it by way of me falling in love with this man. It's not great to be using somebody for their financial means, but like it starts off innocently enough.
And we meet Preston. Preston's played by Kwame Peterson, and he played Monk on The Wire. I have to say, of all the media that a straight man has recommended me when I was interested in them, it's the one that's paid off in dividends the most. I am glad I watched The Wire. The Wire is great. If you haven't watched The Wire, it has the reputation for a reason. But we meet Preston, and Preston like seems so nice. Like he's very like wanting to connect with Alamo. Alamo's like happy. He's like feeling like his world is sort of coming together with Preston and his mom. It's kind of like he gets to have the nuclear family that like you would want to have. And they go to church, and I hear Let My People Go. I message Andy. I was like, I have been taken into choir flashbacks. They're going to get ice cream, and this guy knows Preston, asks him when he's getting the settlement. They should make him rich as cream from the burns on his face. So we find out of that blew up in his face, and the check comes in. We're rich. Everybody's happy.
Because he was getting a settlement because of the burns he got on the job at like a chemical plant.
Exactly. And we see the transformation, the physical transformation now of their home. Because we've gone now from like these like humble beginnings. We're living in the very like luxe like era of the 70s, like with the snake print on the walls, Black Panther painting, and she's in a fur coat. She's dripping in diamonds. Everyone's happy. And then I got taken back to season 3 of Sex and the City because we hear toot toot, beep beep. Because they're playing underneath Bad Girls is underneath. I was like, wow, it all goes back to Sex and the City. And she's like, Alamo, like, you got to do your homework, not cowboys, because they're getting him into this all-white school that Preston was really wanting him to be in. Wear uniforms because they want him to, like, have a better prospect of a life. So he gets to, like, work his way up in a different way. His mom is on the phone with someone and is talking about the jewelry. We see the red box, the Cartier, which is like a step above Tiffany, if you're in the world of like high fashion jewelry. But we don't know who she's on the phone with. And Preston's gonna ask his mom to marry him. And he's like, I just want to give you this good life. And this shot here, I feel like is a little foreboding because we see that his mom is facing from the ocean and we see the backs to them. So it's like sort of foreshadowing she's about to backstab both of them.
Yep.
And they're gonna go back to this new life. We think that everything's gonna be good here. They come home from the vacation. They've been robbed. And the whole house is empty. Immediately, his mom wants to take him and leave. Preston's on his hands and knees. He's like, because it's, he thought.
It's heartbreaking.
I know. It's like devastating because he just thought, she saw him for like more than his burns, like saw him for who he was underneath. And she's like, there's nothing you can fix. He's bad luck. And we see this shot mirrored before of that when Preston was like taking her hand when he came to their apartment for the first time. We now see another man taking her hand like this. And she's like, come on in, Alamo. And we find out that this man was who was on the phone with her when we were like, talking about the jewelry, and that it was all a scheme. She robbed everything. It was to let, get the wool had been pulled over Preston's eyes. Yeah. And we see Alamo get his little cowboy figures, and he realizes his mom used him as like a pawn in all of this. And Alamo realizes all of this, and he's like, this is the last time that a woman would outsmart him, and that is where we get credits. And it's just like this devastating, like almost like bottle episode within Euphoria, and it informs and tells us everything that we didn't know about Alamo until this point. It makes a lot more sense as to why he moves the way that he does, because the most important person in his life used him as collateral. So nothing is precious to him. It's devastating. He's a lone cowboy. He's the Lone Ranger.
Such a crazy reveal that the whole thing was just a con. Just a long con. This was good background lore. It was well filmed. I actually really, really like this.
I really loved this. Also, I have to give credit to the child actor that they got for Alamo. He was fantastic. We were taken back to where we were immediately at the end of the episode last week. Alamo's back on his horse. Rue is, hanging on for dear life. It made me think of like Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts, like her with the club, with the who's the beak at the end of it? It's like a little it's like a flamingo or a stork or something. I actually pulled that up and watched it last week because as they were burying her in the ground and he was coming with the croquet mallet, I was like, we have a reference for this. What is it? And I was like, oh my God, it's the Queen of Hearts playing croquet. It's like some sort of like long-necked bird that she then stretches out, and then I think they're like little hedgehogs or something that she's whacking around. He's talking about the Great Bambino, which is Babe Ruth, right?
Yes, that is Babe Ruth.
Okay. Not a sure.
Look, the only reason I know that is because Jim and I used to have a podcast where he would explain sports things to me. Actually, that's not true. I know that because of Sandlot.
Oh, and see Sandlot? I've never seen.
You've never seen Sandlot? And you call yourself a film buff. That's reprehensible. You'll love it. You'll love it. It's a coming of age tale. You'll love it.
I was watching Now and Then. Like I picked the girly one, like Now and Then.
Oh, sure.
Sandlot.
My best friend and I growing up watched Now and Then literally every single Friday for years. So I get it.
And Rue's pleading for her life. And she reveals, I know the getaway driver, yelling again about Babe Ruth. And she's like, I can call her, I'll get your money back. And we cut to our girl snorting what she thinks is coke off of his CD. I gotta say, I do kind of love the nails. The nails are kind of
Yes, they look great.
And unfortunately, this is where we get our poop moment of the episode.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was, they planted the seeds for it. Faye, unfortunately, is getting, ready for a colonoscopy and shitting her brains out. And this line reading from Zendaya really got me, which she's like, I hate when I have diarrhea. Because who amongst us doesn't?
They put Rue in a lot of situations this season where the person on the other end of the phone doesn't realize the circumstance that Rue is in, and she has to make it seem like everything's normal, and like this is actually quite funny.
But she's pleading to Faye, letting her know you can keep some of the money, and she like just wants her to take a picture of Wayne's key next to a quarter. But unfortunately for Rue, Faye, who amongst us hasn't, I guess, fallen in love with a far-right Proud Boy? They're head over heels for each other, these two idiots. I wanted to vomit. I wanted to hurl as this conversation continues, because clearly he's wanting to make white babies. It's his dream. And she's like, he gave me a tattoo. She wanted a butterfly, which is what I gave her. I gave her a butterfly.
Thank you.
I'm not showing the actual tattoo she got. I'm giving her the tattoo this woman wanted, not the one she didn't consent to.
I need the producers at Euphoria to trust the audience to infer things a little bit more without us having to see them. Okay?
Correct.
We know this guy is a Nazi. I don't need to see a picture of the tattoo. I know what the tattoo is.
Oh. And of course, again, we're going to get hit over the head over and over again. The fact to remind us, this guy is bad. He's a Nazi.
I
know. Which Rue, it's like funny knowing that her head is in the sand, having to like have this conversation with her friend. It's like, wait, this should be like a one-on-one conversation, but except she's buried in the sand and these people are about to kill her.
I love the circumstances are so dire, but she's like, wait a minute, hold on.
But you're Nazi? What's going on here, girl? We gotta fix this. Come come on, I know things aren't that bad. And she's like, okay, like, forget I told you that. We're finding out that she needs a picture of the key so we can get a 3D copy of the duplicate to get into the safe. Oh, God, it's just like the worst conversation. It just gets worse. Faye's like, he's the love of my life. No, he's not.
He's not the love of your life. He's literally just a guy. Hit him with your car.
Just a guy. He's just a guy. Hit him with a car. I can't imagine the sex is that great.
It's definitely not. I love Faye, but this is where we are reminded that, like, Faye has pretty big limitations, and we are reminded that Faye came to us in Euphoria as the hapless girlfriend of a drug dealer who needed a place to stay. It seemed like we were setting Faye up to fuck over the Waynes. And then, of course, she ends up falling in love because he, you know, she's had a hard life, it seems. And he looks her right in the eye and is like, you're beautiful. You're worthy. I love you. Like,
because he wants to take care of her. And it's like, you know, that is sort of a thing. It's like that type of person.
It's intoxicating.
It is like, has had a hard life and a hard existence. Yeah. You want your life to be a little bit easier. So what if he's a Nazi? This guy is going to put a baby in me and we're going to be okay.
Want better for yourself, Faye, please.
Want more. Rue goes to last resort by guilting her with Fez and reminding her what Fez did for her and her last boyfriend. He helped you, help me. And Faye's like, fuck, you're right. Like, you know, if we're bringing up Fez, I can't go against that. And then, like any girl who has had a bad conversation she doesn't want her man to know about, they comes in, she's like, hey, puppy, like to distract him fully immediately, to placate him. And again, nail on the head. He puts a gun on a copy of Helter Skelter. Like, okay, we get it. We get it.
And some sort of manifesto underneath.
Yeah, fine. Might as well have like a Nazi pinata in here at this point. And he looks immediately what he thinks is a bag of Coke on the table. He's upset with her because he's like, I'm trying to put a baby on you. You're doing Coke. And she's like, no, it's not Coke. I've been pooping. Come on. I've been pooping here for 2 hours. It's not Coke. And he's like, he doesn't listen to her. He's looking, we see all the stacks of cash in the safe. And then he's asked if she's taking a prenatal. This man who has like one brain cell is getting her to take a prenatal. I was like, are they going to Walgreens when they're in between drug runs to get her to take Again, also, how are we worrying about her taking a prenatal when she's still ingesting drugs?
Yeah, I don't know if any amount of folic acid is going to help a balloon of heroin not rupture in your intestines.
I know. Can you imagine the OBGYN visit where they're like, okay, so you're taking your prenatal, you're getting ready to, like, you want to have a child. Yeah, but I'm also ingesting 30 balloons of heroin every week.
They've got they're doing a fucking, sonic?
Ultrasound? Yeah.
They're doing an ultrasound and they're like, okay, there's the baby. What is that?
What is that? Wait, hold on.
Wait, what is that?
I'm going to poop him out again soon. Don't worry about it.
How far along am I?
You know, he's seducing her. He's like, you like money. I'm going to take whatever my baby needs. She's going to get, okay? And then we're left with the shot with the keys on the bed. So we can assume Faye's worked her magic and has gotten the keys. We are now at the montage. We're getting ready for, like, it's very Western framed. Everyone's prepping in their respective house. We're having the meetup. Lori and her crew are coming to Alamo's house. Rue has got her phone out. She's calling the DEA. It's showtime. They're getting ready from afar. Lori is in her best, like, precious moment sweater coming to the meetup.
I know. They have her dressed like she's ready to have a whole afternoon, like, hitting the shops at the Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, yeah. We find out Rue has gotten the picture of the key, and they're getting the guns cocked. They're pulling up. We're really just making a whole, like, sequence of this. And we've come face to face with Alamo and Lori, and she's like, I hate that things have gotten so contentious between us. He's like, if you'd apologize, we wouldn't be here. They're trying to big dog each other here in this interaction. Zendaya's signature face at this point that she's making her reaction to, like, how am I here? And Alamo's like, don't you want to get on my knees and beg for mercy? And we find out what Lori wants is that they own a company called Gold Rush Medical Services. And he's like, oh yeah, we ship girls across the border for plastic surgery. I was like, oh God. This is now, we have 2 episodes left. And we're, like, now getting into human trafficking.
Yeah. I mean, is this what happened to Angel? I don't believe this has anything to do with plastic surgery.
We find out they're like, oh, so you use ambulances for that, and they let you sail across the border. And they're like, we want you to help us get fentanyl. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, why do you want to kill the consumer? And Lori's like, well, it's supply and demand. Don't blame me. You know, they're trying to like it's like not our fault that people want the fentanyl. He's like, well, if I don't comply, what's going to happen? They're like, we've got everything that we stole. We're going to mail it to the FBI. When LOL, they have no idea Rue's in the room working with the FBI. So
Yep.
Joke's on all of y'all. G says, watch your mouth, Playboy. And Alamo's like, well, I'm going to get my stuff back, right? And Lori's like, well, don't you read the news? And the most LOL response in 2026, Alamo's like, I don't give a fuck about the news. I was like, I wish I could be that unbothered about the news. I wish I lived that existence. And Lori's got a new source that she's working with. The DA guys are like, good job, Rue. They've gotten all the information that they need to really nail them. Lori suggests, can Rue go and do this? And he's like, and she says, you don't trust Rue to do this? He's like, you pick your people, I pick mine. And we find that they're threatening if you like fuck him over, he will come down on her like Hiroshima. I think we're just is sort of building up to, we're going to get a massive shootout with the DEA involved. A lot of people are going to die. So we find out the DEA told her, you got what we needed. They're going to look at her favorably and they're like, good job, Rue. And she's like, it's weird. This is the first time Rue has like pride in something that she's done. In herself, and she sits and she thanks God because again she's found God, and that's sort of how she's gotten here. And she's trying her best to get Maddie to stop working with Alamo. If he's a monster, why are you working with him? Of course, Rue can't tell her why, and it's like, Maddie, you're so smart. Read between the lines. If Rue's telling you to not work with him, like Rue's not gonna lie to you. Like at the end of the day, Rue may make bad decisions, but she's gonna try not lead people astray. Like she's trying to be like she cares about the people she cares about and like protects them fiercely. Maddie's at the Silver Slipper and she's wanting to get everything she can get out of her girls. She's now the madam. We get these like funny shots. Rosalia is just so funny. We find out that Alexa, which makes sense to me, Alexa and Rosalia are friends in real life. So they talked about they had a really fun day doing this, which I was like, I have to imagine this would be a fun day on set to get to just like be with the girlies, do the shots, this crazy shot of Sydney Sweeney being humiliated yet again, squeezed to death by a snake, because we can lead that, you know, she's humiliated. Sorry, I
also foreshadowing to later stuff with the snake in the episode.
Because the snake is going to squeeze out its victim. And Maddie, we cut to, she's like looking at the photo, she's talking to her best friend Alamo. She's like, the club is so photogenic, and we find out Alamo's designed it, and they talk about it in the after show. So much of it is inspired by his mother, including the leg, that the giant leg we see on the top of the Silver Slipper is modeled after his mother, and the costume designer chose a specific slipper for it. They made this whole model out of it, which is, it's just so funny to me. Again, the design details, the cinematography, everything is so specific on this show.
It's very interesting how all of the production details are being taken so seriously when the source material could have used several other sets of eyes on it. That being said, like I am glad that they are paying attention to details, because that's what makes the show watchable despite its script and plot.
Bishop sort of has like his eyes on Maddie a bit. He's like, I know who you are. And Maddie asks the worst question anyone could ask in America capitalism. She wants the girls to get time off. And he says, what are you talking about? Time off does not exist. Because you know what? We are in a society where time off is a foul word in this society. Health insurance, foul. Minimum wage, foul. So we know how Alamo feels. He's like, if you had told me you were going to take my girls, we wouldn't have this agreement. And Maddie's like being very genuine. She's like, I'm not trying to take your girls. I'm just trying to introduce them and build them up so that we make more money together. This is good for us. And, but Alamo, of course, is on edge because he's used to everyone screwing him over. And Bishop is like, well, there are people trying to fuck you, but I don't know that Maddie Perez is one of them.
All right. So moving on from Silver Slipper, we are back in downtown LA. Quick aside, how much driving are these characters doing? Because these places are not close to each other as far as I am aware.
Okay. All right. As someone who lives in LA, we're in a fantasy land where there's no traffic in LA, and Rue's able to zip place to place. Like, this is a fantasy.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any sense. We're at Jules' apartment in downtown LA. Rue is gazing at Jules lovingly and is saying, you know what? Maybe like, God bless the broken road. Maybe like it all just led me straight back to Jules, and maybe everything's going to be fine. That's going to be their wedding song.
Oh my God. The Rascal Flats. It never
Yeah,
eats
exactly.
it.
And Jules is sort of calling Rue's bluff because Rue is like, oh, maybe I want to have kids because I want somebody else to live for. I want to like devote my life to somebody else. And Jules is like, I'm sorry, what?
I know. It's just like, this is the most like stereotypical lesbian sort of like cycle that we're like back in here. It's just very much like Jules is like, we've been here before. I've gotten these broken promises. This is not happening. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Rue is basically saying the subtext out loud of like, if I devote myself to another person and I devote myself to kids, then, you know, my problems aren't about me anymore. And like, unfortunately, I do think this is both consciously and subconsciously the way people make a lot of very important decisions in their life, which they should not make this way because this is not how you decide to bring a life into the world, but that's neither here nor there.
So I also have to say, no one on this show should have children. Every character in Euphoria should not be procreating. We're starting with Wayne and Faye, the first couple who should not be. I hope Wayne is sterile. I hope he's shooting blanks.
Oh, he's definitely sterile. Like, there's no way that man's not sterile. That man got shot in the scrotum with a BB gun more than once and probably just for fun. Like, there's no way that man, he's sterile. He's absolutely sterile. Anyway, Jules interrupts Rue's fantasy and is like, well, are you even sober long term? Rue, of course, lies and is like, yeah. I'm not really counting the days, but like, it's been a while. Rue's like, I just want good old fashioned American problems as opposed to the absolutely insane problems Rue has gotten herself into. I mean, girl, know yourself. You're never going to have good old-fashioned American problems again. Like, that time has passed.
Yeah. You're lucky you've made it to 23.
And Jules is questioning her of like, do you think we're going to be this like little fantasy that you've worked out in your head? Rue pushes back and is like, Jules, your life is also a fantasy. Like, pots and kettles here, sister. And Rue finally comes out and says it, which is unusual for Rue in regard to Jules, and says, I want to be with you.
Also, I love that they have Zendaya dressed like a PI from Florida here.
I know.
Like, she's like fully dressed from like Tommy Bahama, like head to toe.
I know. And only Rue could like look incredibly hot in this insane outfit. Jules is calling her bluff. And again, I've said this in previous recaps, this is the element of Jules that I'm really liking in this season, is calling Rue on her bullshit, because Jules just feels like a stand-in for myself and so many other women who are like, what the fuck are you talking about with this relationship fantasy when in reality you have been awful to me repeatedly. And is like, what relationship are you talking about? Like, this is entirely in your head. This is entirely fictionalized. You make promises, you abandon me. Like, what are you this is how we've been since the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we do find out, because it was left ambiguous, that it does seem like these two did sleep together, because Rue was like, I'm sorry, did we not just have an amazing time together? And Jules is like, yeah, it almost cost me my relationship, because as we remember, Ellis finds the boxers.
Right.
It does appear that these two did hook up, even though we didn't get to see it. Jules is like, it almost cost me my relationship and everything I'm working towards, which now it's like, come on, Jules, what are you talking about? Everything you're working towards? Like, this is not a permanent state of being, which Rue calls her on. He's pretty harsh with Jules and is like, you're just a little toy that he keeps locked in a room. And he's like, what? Yeah. He just tells you to like stay here and paint until he comes back to fuck you. This, of course, incenses Jules, and she slaps Rue into the painting. The painting falls over on top of Rue, which is a very silly but effective moment. So yeah, Jules is super pissed at Rue and says, Ellis is going to be here in 45 minutes, so I suggest you get the fuck out of my painting, which is just a very funny line. Rue is very sad in the elevator down from the penthouse, because that was not how Rue was expecting her professing of love to go. We are on the set of LA Nights, and this outfit sent me into outer fucking space. Kudos to the costume designer, because they put her in one of these fuck-ass little newsboy caps. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. Man, woman, non-binary, nobody should be wearing these fuck-ass newsboy caps. I hate these hats. I hate them. I hate them so much. They are so ugly. They make me violently angry when I see somebody wearing them in real life. Part of it is like a self-conscious thing, because every time I put on a hat that's not a baseball cap, I spend the whole day being like, who do you think you are? You look so stupid. So whatever. I think it's really funny that they put Cassie in this hat.
Well, it's evocative of 2003. Like, this is like what Paris and Brittany were wearing when they're going on the Sunset Strip here and they're going out to the clubs. Like, they've dressed her. That's why I was like, it's so funny. I was like, they're just dressing her more and more like Britney Spears in like 2003.
And she starts to do the scene, and we hear in Rue's narration that Cassie has studied her very few lines religiously. And yet, as soon as Dylan Reed's character says, let's just say you're not the first girl to come running once the honeymoon's over, referring to this character having worked at a bar with, I guess, his nemesis, Jagger. Yeah. Cassie has a flashback to Nas saying the honeymoon's over. We haven't seen Cassie really process this trauma. She kind of just ran off to LA. She's been wiring Nate money, but like otherwise she thought she had kind of washed her hands of this. And she has a complete break with reality. I hated this scene.
It was triggering,
because I don't think any amount of acting on Cassie's part could have justified this. I understand that people have psychotic breaks with reality, but like I don't think they look like this. So like she stops saying her lines and just goes off script, and I guess then she sees Dylan as Nas. I don't know. She has a total break with reality and just starts saying things related to her relationship with Nate in the middle of shooting this scene. Cassie's still going. She's talking about her wedding night and having a bloody nose, and she's saying, like, I did everything for that man. She's talking about Nate, obviously, and how he just lied to her. And Dylan Reed decides to just go with it.
He's improvising. They're improvising.
Yeah. I know. He decides to just go with it and is like, did Jagger hit you? And like, you can see he feels sort of like, I don't know, invigorated by this. Like, this whole scene just pissed me off so bad. If this actually happened on a film set, they would call cut immediately and they'd be like, say your lines is scripted. What's wrong with you?
You're a day player. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
3 lines. Like, what's going on?
Especially after they got so pissed at Jules for, like, costing them money by delaying the project with Jules's painting. Like, this is just out of control. They don't stop it because Patty Lances says, it feels fresh and it's giving me the feels. Patty Lance's character is subtly one of the best written characters on this show currently, because I feel like people who are her age who work in Hollywood, like, she's using the phrase give me the feels, even though like it's a little bit too young a phrase for her to use, but she clearly learned it somewhere and she's trying really hard to be relevant and current. And Cassie, I don't know, partially snaps back to reality and decides to justify all of what she just said with, I have all the dirt to shut Jagger's bars down, because Cassie's a fan of the show, so I guess she knows enough. I don't know. It really just annoyed me. Of course, Dylan Reed is like, what was going on? Was that improv? What? Yeah, so they're so beguiled by Cassie that they invite her to have lunch afterward. God. So I have so many thoughts about this. The one being, and this is going to sound bad, and I don't mean it to be bad, when women are very, very conventionally beautiful in the acting, theater, film space.
Sure. Yeah.
People in power often confuse them being incredibly hot and beautiful in a very conventional way with being talented. Like, we often can't tell the difference. When someone is so strikingly beautiful in a way that we're all like, that's a perfectly symmetrical face, those are incredible boobs, this is the exact conventional look that we are supposed to be completely smitten with. We have trouble looking past that and being like, she didn't say her lines. She clearly like lost touch with reality. Like, this is not a good idea. We have a preoccupation with beautiful people and also people who are basically a car wreck that we can't look away from.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to be responsible and like not give these people more opportunities and get them into bigger trouble. They're having lunch afterwards and Cassie's like, oh, I've been an actor my whole life. And Lexi's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, well, it's always been my dream. This is a little bit rude of Lexi, but I get where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Like, they start asking Cassie more questions about her and Lexi can't help herself and is like, she's on OnlyFans. And we know already that Lexi is not okay with that. Trying to undermine Cassie. She's trying to get Cassie out of here as quickly as possible. Colleen Camp, I love you. You are carrying so much weight on your shoulders with this show because you are the only thing bringing me any sincere joy watching Euphoria.
Truly.
I salute you. I commend you. I love you. And she's like, OnlyFans, that's that site. Cassie's trying to play it off of like, they're very tasteful nude pictures. I'm an artist who expresses herself with her body, and Lexi will not get her foot off her neck. And he's like, why don't you tell Patty about the fetish stuff in the JOIs, which apparently stands for jerk off instructions. I was not aware of that. And Cassie's face when Patty Lance confronts her of like, so you're a sex worker. Cassie has not considered this. She does not think of herself this way. She's like, absolutely not. What the fuck are you talking about? That is not in her view of who she is as a person. And I just love this. Colleen Camp's character is so hung up on this. Like, she will not move on with the rest of the conversation. It's like, they need instructions. Men need instructions to jerk off. I need a whole spinoff with this character. I love her. She's my favorite part of this season of Euphoria, bar none. Patty Lance is still going in on Cassie and is now getting into like exploitive territory where you can see her wheels turning. You can see that she's got something in mind and is like, how does that affect you emotionally? And of course, Cassie's like, it's really hard the way people treat me in my own family, even my sister. Lexi is cutting in here to be like, hey, it's a problem that a lot of women are turning to this as like their main means of income, which again, this has been the big question of this season of the show of like, is this empowering for women or is it bad? It's a question that I myself cannot answer, but we clearly know what camp Lexi is in, which is like, this is not good and this is not okay. Patty Lance is just telling herself exactly what she wants to hear. Is like, oh, this is why you brought her, so that we could save her, from this pitiful life of OnlyFans, like as if she's like, you know, fucking Cosette in Les Mis. And it's like, oh, we're gonna bring her out of this world and bring her into a new one where she's a TV star. The two of them, I think they've been doing this show together for a million years. They're bored. And so they have these little moments where you can see the two of them like lighting each other's spark of like, ooh, yeah, let's do something really edgy and weird. Let's fuck this up a little bit. And so they both start getting really excited and setting each other off. And it's so funny. And she says, oh yeah, Jane Fonda, Clute, which is one of Jane Fonda's early films where she plays like a sex worker who has aspirations of becoming a movie star. So, you know, they're painting this picture of who Cassie is and who this character that Cassie might play could be. But the two of them are so funny, the way they like set each other off. Lexi pops in to be like, the role that Cassie was just in has no other lines, and sadly we never see her again. Too bad, because she can't wait to get her sister off the set. And of course, that is not the case. They are going to write Cassie a larger part on the show. And again, Patty thinks she's doing this like great service of like, are you ready to leave that world behind you? And Cassie says yes, and then we see this insane shot of her thanking God.
Immediately, I'm like, what about Maddie's contract she didn't read?
Correct. Not gonna be good. What about Maddie's contract she didn't read? What about Nate? What about all these other things? Like, she's, you know, reaching to the heavens and thanking God. She goes home to delete her OnlyFans because that is the one condition of her taking this job. And you have taught me, working with you has taught me, you always take a screenshot of when they have a screen because we want to see what the little psychos working on this image are doing.
Bread, lots of mustard, mayo, lettuce, onion, juicy tomatoes.
I know. I'm like, what is that for? Send me a video and tell me how you despise me and wish I was dead. I want you to Photoshop me in as a tiny man being crushed between... we can assume where that's going. Also, this chat that she's got going on the right is clearly a guy who's just complaining about his like nagging wife and how much he loves Cassie instead. It's so gross. It's so dark. We also, before this, she makes her way over to the laptop and we sort of get like a reference to the Cassie Zilla from last week because she's stepping across her floor slowly and sort of stepping on what are now the remnants of her OnlyFans career. But she's really wrestling with this decision and prays to God for help. I feel this way whenever people thank God after like winning a sports game. I'm like, if you think God is going to show up during your decision for whether you should quit OnlyFans or for you winning an NFL game, then why hasn't God showed up for anything else that we would need God for? She decides to call her personal God Nate Jacobs because she wants his advice. And I'm like, Cassie, you fucking idiot. This man isn't giving you sound advice. No. This man doesn't know anything about anything. She does eventually, without Nate's input, I don't know.
Or Maddie's.
Or Maddie's. I know. I was like, you're not going to talk to Maddie at all. Well, she knows what Maddie's going to say, which is don't do this. So she does actually get rid of her OnlyFans. And it just kind of made me laugh how sort of innocuous this screen looks, as if you're like, I don't know, joining like a cooking blog or something.
Oh, it looks like when you install Microsoft Word.
Yeah, yes, it does. It does.
Okay, I'm going to get Excel.
Does. We're back at LA Nights, and of course, Patty Lance, her wheels are now turning, and she's like, oh, I like how risque this is. Like, she's so smitten with her own idea to, like, take this OnlyFans story and turn it into something for television, which I can only imagine is how Sam Levinson felt when he was like, ooh, I'm going to talk about OnlyFans. This is going to be edgy and current.
And you're going to see Sydney's giant boobs, and they're going to break
all the
glass.
All the time.
Oh,
You'll never be able to get away from them.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
Yeah. I know.
Ripping things left and right. I'm just like smoking 2 cigarettes out of my mouth.
Meanwhile, Lexi is now trying to spin this of like, I knew you guys would love her. Oh, come on, Lexi. But Patty Lance is like, hey, you seem to have like an inroad to this because she's your sister and you know a lot about what she's been up to. Why don't you write it? And of course, Lexi can't hide how happy she is because this is what Lexi came to Hollywood to do in the first place. Also, Patty Lance knows what she's doing. She's clearly sussed out that Lexi's not happy about this, but she wants Cassie, so she's going to keep Lexi happy by letting her take a stab at the script. But I also was like, oh my God, is this how we get Lexi's Play 2.0 for the end of this season? Is this it? Because, baby, please, we need it. I need it. I'm begging for it. Give me another Lexi's Play.
The last scene is going to be her like Carrie Bradshaw typing on her laptop, everything. And then she's going to look out the window and we're going to see the Hollywood sign and fade out. And it's all been in Lexi's head the whole time. None
of these characters exist. I didn't need to see all those breasts for no reason. Anyway, moving on. Rue has some time to kill while this key copy is getting 3D printed. So yeah, Rue has an hour to kill while the key is being 3D printed. And so she decides to spend it in church. Like many a protagonist before her, Rue decides to spend some time sitting in a church and see if that fixes everything. Rue still has the little 10 commandments that those crazy cult people in Texas gave her. Rue sees that she's getting a call from mom and assumes that it's the DEA agents, and then it ends up being her actual mother, which that was a nice surprise. I appreciated that.
I have to give Zendaya so much credit for this scene.
Oh my God, yeah.
A one-sided phone call is really hard to act on because you're having to, because I don't know if her mom, they actually had her on the phone on the other side or not.
I don't think they did because Nika King in the post interview said that they were not actually talking to each other. And one of the like fucked up things that they seem to do on the Euphoria set is not give any of the characters any information about the context that their scenes are being performed in. So I think she was just solo on the phone.
It's hard to get through a lot of things we're watching this season, but this was so, like, we went on the actor's journey with her on the phone call, and to have very truthful revelations, and like I was like, why am I getting emotional? Like, I'm mad at this because like, but she's amazing, and this whole scene was like worth it for me.
Yes, I love her downplaying to her mom, like, I've been better, but I'm good. I'm like, you're in one of the worst places you have been in. But we see a little bit more of Rue's thought process of like the reason that Rue is turning toward God is like, if there's redemption, then there's salvation, and I want to be free to start my life over, and I want to be forgiven. It makes sense. I mean, the thing is, in her diner chats with her sponsor, he's been talking a lot about God and a path to God, and in addiction recovery there is a lot of God stuff like in the meeting, so it makes sense that this is where Rue is turning. An incredible scene. I love you so much and I'm sorry if I made it harder. Rue basically says like, now that I'm out on my own, I'm realizing how hard it must have been. I mean, listen, we all get older and we all have perspective on like how hard things were for the people who were taking care of us when we were younger and didn't know as much. It was just a really powerful scene. You don't hear the other end of the conversation, but we do see briefly Nika King is back. I am so glad. I missed Nika King so much. I will say this grounded performance and the scenery of like we're back in Rue's house that she grew up in, I was like, God, this really highlighted how far we have strayed. They only give Nika King one line in this episode, but she says, I love you, Rue. And it's so grounded and so beautiful. And we have her back in Rue's old house. And I'm like, oh my God, we've strayed so far from this for this season.
We get the moment of her like sitting afterwards. It's like, you want to hope that that's the breakthrough. It's just that she's had the experience of being burned so many times before. And the way that she's able to say that in one line, to have the subtext of like, I hope this is actually the breakthrough, but also you have to have like one foot on the ground and like one foot in the clouds.
I at first was pissed off because I thought maybe this was our only Nika King appearance this season. It does look like in the preview for the next episode that she is also in the next episode, which I'm very excited about. Rue is feeling really good about this afterwards, shedding a couple tears while, you know, like staring up at the stained glass. You know, you're happy for Rue in this moment that she's gotten some closure with her mom and maybe they can move forward.
It's like the calm before the storm of like everything bad that is really about to hit the fan. Yeah.
Exactly. Now we head back to Lexi and Cassie's apartment complex. I don't know this character's name, but I love her.
Who is
spiritually, I align most with this character who is smoking a cigarette or a joint, having a glass of wine. And at one point, actually, this character takes a chunk of pineapple and dips it into her wine before she eats it. And I was like, incredible. No notes. Lexi is bouncing ideas off of her because she's like, now I have to write Cassie into the script and I have to build her up. And of course this woman is like, why don't you just kill her? You could just build her up and then kill her. And then we are foreshadowing greatly here. This is very on the nose. She says, if someone doesn't die periodically, people get bored. I'm like, we are being cued that someone is going to die. We get this line right as we see this delivery guy in the background who is clearly headed for Cassie. Cassie gets a package, gets excited about it at first, and then when she opens it up, we can see on the other side of this note that there is some blood, and I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. And it says, answer the phone. I'm not showing you what's in the package. It's a dismembered finger. It's Nate's ring finger. It's got his wedding ring on it.
I have to say, I'm shocked it wasn't his penis. I have to say at this point with the show, the fact that it was just a finger, I was like, well,
we'll get there. But yeah, this is a real slap in the face of like Cassie thinks she's off like doing whatever and like she just has to send Nate money every now and then. But like, let's remember, you're married to him. He's not paying his debts. What did Nas say? They're going to become your debts. They know where she lives. They know where she is. They are coming to get her. They're coming to find her. This is not just going to all work out for Cassie magically. Meanwhile, this guy's decided to go stomp on the fritillaries, which I'm like, why are you causing yourself more problems? Also, this scene pissed me off, similar to what we were talking about last week with the R word. I don't know why we need to be using the F slur as much as we are.
Yeah.
I could gather that Nate is upset without him having to say that. Said it a bunch of times. Again, I don't care if you're putting these words in the mouth of a character that I'm not supposed to like, agree with, or respect.
Correct.
It doesn't matter. I can know that without you saying these words on screen and normalizing their use again. I don't know. I bet some of the people working on Euphoria love AI. Type into ChatGPT, what's something else I can say other than the R word and the F slur?
No, I agree.
Anyway, he's stomping on the white fritillaries, causing himself more problems.
I wrote in my notes, I was like, this is basically Monty Python. Like the Knights of Knee, they're literally like cutting him like appendage by appendage. Again, also, it's like, it's funny, like Jules and Nate, they're both in like another universe. It's like, why do we care at this point? Like, I don't care. Just kill off Nate. I don't care.
I know, just kill him.
Doing nothing. Like, Jesus, we're torturing the man. Kill him.
Just kill him. We're getting there. We are back at the Silver Slipper and Alamo. This was a diabolical edit, by the way. Like, we see what's going on with Nate. We see the finger, and then Alamo is like digging into a burger and fries, and you're just like, oh, I feel nauseous. Rue gives Alamo the 3D printed key. Alamo gives it right back and is like, this is your mission. You do whatever the fuck it takes to get my shit out of that safe. I want nothing to do with it. And then we go feed the snake a rat, and we get this kind of incredible monologue where like the camera gets ever closer to his face, and he's like, actually, this python used to belong to one of the dancers, and she had a whole act with the python. She loved it. It slept in the bed with her, and it would curl up around her while she slept. And then one day the python stopped eating, and she didn't understand. She takes it to the vet, and the vet's like, python's perfectly healthy. The reason it's not eating is because when it wraps itself around you at night, it's sizing you up, and it's not eating because it's preparing for a much larger meal. He summarizes this of like, the reason I'm telling you this is because you never know a motherfucker's true intentions. But apparently Alamo heard the story, laughed hysterically, and paid this woman to buy the snake. Alamo likes reminders that people are gonna fuck you over.
It's his core value.
Yes, his core value is no one has your best interest at heart except you, which he's kind of not wrong. And so he's like, are you gonna get inside the safe? Rue says yes. And he was like, wonderful. I would hate to think that I lied to your mother. And then he names her. He says Leslie. So now we're sitting here like, oh my God, is the only reason why Leslie called Rue because she heard from Bishop, who peddled some story about what Rue was actually up to professionally. And he said, I told her how well you're doing. So obviously he's trying to scare and intimidate Rue. Similar to Cassie receiving Nate's finger of like, we know who you are, we know where you come from, we know who you're involved with. I mean, it's like classic mob intimidation tactics of like, it's not just you who's at risk now, it's your family. So yeah, this is horrifying. And obviously we get a shot of the snake with the little rat feet. I'm sorry, Caroline, I'm sorry, I'm taking it off the screen. It's a very evocative image. Would you rather see Sydney Sweeney's boobies again? I go get them. I got the screenshot.
Both are bad. I know. No, you don't need to get the screenshot because they're in my head. I can, if I close my eyes at night,
burned in my brain.
Her nipples are breaking glass. So
I know, one in each eye.
I'm thinking about. I saw Sheep Detectives on Thursday, and there's a whole thing about like the sheeps 1, 2, 3 blink, and they can erase everything in their head, and they forget everything. I was like, God, give me that power. Let me say I want to forget everything. 1, 2, 3. And then I could forget Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
Or like the Men in Black.
Men in Black laser.
I want one of those so bad. I've wanted one of those forever. Rue is listening to the Bible. The CD starts skipping. Rue gets distracted trying to fix it and almost drives headfirst into an oncoming truck. Nearly misses it. Drives off the road and is breathing a sigh of relief. And then right in front of her, this Joshua tree shrub goes up in flames randomly. And Rue is standing in front of it, and she is smiling because she thinks that this is a Moses in the burning bush act of God moment that she should take as a good sign that, you know, she went to church, she talked to her mom, even though this, like, scary thing is happening maybe with Bishop, like, maybe this is a sign from God that everything's gonna be good. And we as a viewer know, like, girl, you are seeing what you want to see, you are misinterpreting it to your own mental benefit because there is no way that a tree catching on fire, like you're in California. This is a tree catching on fire is never a good thing when you're in California. But yeah, the episode ends with Rue staring at this burning tree and who the hell knows what's in store for the next couple episodes. Overall, as you said at the top, I think this was the most watchable of all the episodes. I actually enjoyed a lot of parts of it. Parts of it really pissed me off. We'll see where we go from here, but the tension is really building. Somebody's gonna die soon.
If only one person dies, like, what are we doing here?
I know. Kill them all.
Yeah, like, we need carnage. Like, what's the point? Like, carnage. I definitely need, like, the Proud Boys dead. Only 2 more. Hallelujah.
Thank you all for being with us on this journey that is Euphoria Season 3. It's been a tough road, but we're glad to have you with us. We will be back with another Euphoria recap next week. We also have Sex and the City Original Series recaps with guests on our channel. Please check those out if you are interested. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. Please yap with us in the comments. We love hearing from you, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.